Good day and welcome to the SNN Network Summer Virtual Event. Our next presenting company is BioLargo. It is now my pleasure to turn the floor over to Dennis Calvert, CEO of BioLargo. Sir, the floor is yours.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for joining us today. So BioLargo, we make life better. It's a big vision. We're focused on sustainable solutions for some of the toughest environmental challenges really facing our Earth. We've been at this for over a decade, developed a platform of technologies, and have become a full-service solution provider. Our symbol's BLGO. We're going to try and do a quick overview. There's a lot going on at BioLargo, so it encourages a deep dive, and we look forward to investing time with you as you study the company. I will remind everyone we will be relying on our safe harbor statement and for the presentation. We will involve forward-looking statements. Be sure and refer to our 10K and our periodic filings for the most accurate information, as well as the risk factors associated with our business. And we do make no commitment to update this presentation. Rather, we refer you back to our filings. So thank you very much. The company really has two distinct groups. We call it the environmental group and our medical company. We're a minority owner in a company that we spawned called Clearer Medical. It's a perfect situation for a spin-out with an entire portfolio and a very exciting future. We're not going to spend any time on Clearer, really, but I will remind everyone that that is part of the portfolio and we believe has substantial value and a great future. For today, we're going to talk about the primary activity of the company, which is focused on all things environmental. As we always say, clean air, clean water, a cleaner earth. We basically have the toolkit, the expertise, the talent to be a solution provider, presenting knowledge, expertise, tools in the form of products and technologies, and project orientation to be able to take this project from start to finish to solve some of the biggest challenges we know. There's a number of core revenue drivers in the portfolio. Cupridyne Clean is an odor and VOC product. We also are taking Cupridyne derivatives through the EPA for advanced disinfection, and so we're in journey for those additional regulated claims. Right now, it's focused primarily on oxidation potential, destroying VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and odorous compounds. It's a very exciting product. It's got a big future. We also are seeing some additional distribution opportunities come through partnership, which are early stage but growing and very exciting. We'll talk some more detail. Our engineering group joined us 3.5 years ago. It's an exciting company. They just secured a little over $1.2 million in contracts in the last few months, most of which will generate revenue in the second half of the year, which is very exciting. So that's a big deal. Massive customers, which is exciting. But also they're an innovator. They've been critical to the scale up and the design of our portfolio of innovation, but they're innovative themselves as well, which we'll talk about the AOS. They just recently signed a partnership with Garrett Callahan at the National Water Company, 5 regional offices, 100+ years of history, highly focused on serving customers, literally tens of thousands, if not more, customers. And we're working on a project with them to develop and launch a piece of equipment that will fill a niche market within their portfolio. Essentially, we build it, they sell it. It's a great partnership, and the first prototype is actually under construction. Should be ready for the field really in the next few weeks, which is very exciting. Our AOS is a long, difficult challenge, but really very exciting. It represents a technical breakthrough. The AOS is our advanced oxidation system. That's an advanced water treatment technology that is particularly good at high-level disinfection, especially for destroying contaminants like micropollutants. Exceptional disinfection, low energy, high output, a technical leap forward, and it will be a platform that we believe will sustain itself for the long haul, and it is in early stage commercial validation now and commercial trials. The AEC is a new innovation. That's a big deal. The AEC is our aqueous electrostatic concentrator, a little technical, but that is basically our PFOS extraction device. PFOS is per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. These are the chemicals that are called forever chemicals. Nature won't break them down. That system was invented in the last 2 years. It's now at bench scale, and commercial scale is about to go to the field. We're actually testing waters with clients. It is a massive opportunity we believe we're the cutting edge, and we'll talk some more detail about what that technology represents. Financially, the company's really made dramatic shifts over the last couple of years. We paid off a mountain of debt. We use that money to advance these technologies, build out really a world-class team of talent, and shore up our infrastructure. We've seen a steady increase over time, albeit, as you see, some volatility. COVID did hit us a little bit on this odor and VOC control. It's as simple as it's hard to sell when you can't meet the client. And so expanding the base has been very difficult. We do believe that will pass. We also have distribution channels that are expanding. But again, early stage commercial adoption really have validated and set us up for an exciting partnerships and expansion. We'll describe some of those as well. Like we like to say, the hardest work is done. The hardest work is all hard work. But the hardest work, what does that mean? That means the invention. You know, making invention is not easy. And then validating invention, scaling up invention, finding the right spot for commercial adoption. A lot of that work is done. Our portfolio is really been validated at the highest level. We're pushing well over 80 grants on our AOS technology, for example. Number of trials with some of the leading partners, agencies, federal governments in the world. It's just an incredible journey of validation. And now, because of all that work, the technology becomes very attractive for licensing, for partners, for joint venturing, and really as part and parcel to a full service solution focus, which is really what we're doing from the organic side. Big opportunities are on the table, right? We mentioned a couple. PFOS is probably the largest and most immediate. It's been identified by the federal government as the top environmental concern. The Biden administration, within the first couple of weeks, named the PFOS problem as a key target as part of the infrastructure bill. It's got a bill before Congress that wants to designate PFOS as a hazmat. Well, that's a big deal. Hazardous material means special handling, federal funding, mandate for testing and cleanup. And if you do a little search on the internet for PFAS, you're going to find that this is everywhere. Some people say it's an $80 billion a year market. We've heard people talk about a $1 trillion market. It's just big. It's big. And what happens is, you know, if you're producing drinking water and you have PFOS in it, people won't sell it. They gotta get that PFOS out of that water. Same thing for soil. Very, very commonly found on military bases where they do lots of practicing with firefighting foams. Those firefighting foams historically have a lot of PFOS in them, so they leach out into the soil. In any event, as you do a little homework, you're gonna find out this is a global issue on any industrialized nation, and we're right smack in the middle of the storm with an innovation that has a significant competitive advantage is about to go to market. Mentioned our Garrett Callahan, of course. That's a product that's about to go into commercial trials. We're hoping to launch by January 1, 2022. It's a big deal. Remember, there's a built-in sales force there. We finished the commercial trials, validated. There's a number of clients standing in the wings. That's a very exciting project. And then a little over a year ago, we did this project with Odin. That's Tomorrow Water and BKT. We actually have a joint venture in Daegu, South Korea, which is considered one of the leading water clusters in the world. So that's an awesome advance with great partners, and it is gaining momentum. They've invested heavily. They survived COVID, of course, and now they're in a spot to see that blossom as a manufacturing and distribution point for all of Asia, which is very exciting. Mineral extraction, again, we were brought in as a consultant, partner, technology developer to help a client figure out what to do with a mountain of waste product from a mining operation. And we've actually shown that client how to convert that, process it, build out infrastructure, and turn that into well over $1 billion in potential sales. So we're now negotiating, right? Negotiating to transfer technology, to build, to finance, to be a partner. It's a very exciting project. It's not complete, but it's again, very exciting for us, and we're optimistic about its future. We also have a number of retail initiatives that are coming. They're in the works. They've been in the works for months, and we're going to see the fruit of those soon, and we want you to keep posted as that unfolds. Talked a little bit about PFOS. This is, again, is just, as we say, it's just a massive problem, and it demands a good solution. And so what we've done is we focus on efficiency. What do you do, right? What do you do when you have a micropollutant like PFOS measured in parts per trillion? Well, the standard technology is a carbon-based. That's the competition. Carbon filters. Carbon filters can remove PFOS. They just don't do it very efficiently. And the problem is that once it does capture PFOS in the carbon, you end up with a mountain of carbon. Why is that? Well, because carbon has no ability to selectively extract. It's going to take a lot of contaminants out of the water, all the organic material. And if the water has organic material in it, it essentially attaches to the surfaces of the carbon, this carbon structures, before the PFOS can be attracted and bound to the surface. That means that when you treat a body of water with PFOS and you're using carbon, you're going to treat the whole water, the whole body of water. And you're going to have a waste product that literally is truckloads. And so what we've done is we focused on how can we selectively extract the PFOS, just get the PFOS. And if you can do that, that means your collection system lasts significantly longer. It means that the waste product is significantly less. It means that the cost is less. So the CapEx is a competitive CapEx. CapEx is the capital cost to get the system installed. Now, to give you an order of magnitude, so you understand what we're doing, these systems, this is a module you see in this image. That module is a small bench scale module. It's the test unit that proves the efficiency of taking the water, flowing it through the system, migrating the PFOS across the flow of water to a surface of a membrane and attaching it, I like to say, like flypaper. Like flypaper. Think about that. Migrated across the flow, the particles hit the membrane, they attach like flypaper, and you extract them. Highly efficient, focused exclusively on the PFOS. That's the art. Well, this was initially launched with an EPA grant. We've spent 2 years. We're now at the commercial phase. It's scalable, definitely scalable. We're proving that every day. We're now testing client waters. We're working with 2 leading clients probably in the world, a federal agency for the United States of America. We're also working with one of the leading water agencies in the western half of the United States. And these partners have now shipped us their water. We run their water through our system to validate that our technology works for their style of water, right, their target. And at that point, we then go into the field. So those field trials are now scheduled, hopefully, to be in the field in the next few months. Right? We are geared up to install systems and put them out in the field and do that test work. Those trials will run anywhere from 60 to maybe as long as 4 months, 60 days to maybe 4 months. Some will run longer because they represent a collective, right? Which is fine. We're happy with that. But the data that comes out of these units is pretty instantaneous. You know, it's about 30 days. For 30 days of operation, you're going to have proof of claim. And at that point, right, so just think again what we just said. We're going to do testing at our place, at our location, on our machines. They ship the water. Then we go out in the field. We do their water on site. We gather that data. It goes off to third parties for validation, right? Then we score the data. We work with the client to validate efficiency, maintenance, durability, and technical performance. And at that point, you're in the bidding business. Once you do that, you're in the go-to-market game. It's a very exciting time, and we believe that what will happen is that we will be successful in all of the above. We also predict that at that moment when we say, okay, we're ready for market, we'll be able to compete directly for client opportunities, probably in the small to mid-tier scale. So what's small to mid-tier scale? Well, that's probably in the $250 to maybe $2.5 million, $3 million range for a project. But these projects that we're talking about can go all the way up to 25 and 30 million. So it would be natural for a large customer with that kind of project to want us to partner with other companies. Big balance sheet, big engineering and construction. Of course, that makes sense. So what will happen is we'll start in the smaller scale, and we will, in essence, work our way up the food chain. We think the technical and economic validation for this technology, though, separates us from the entire list of competitive products, and we have a chance to be the technology leader, the benchmark by which others are compared for what some people say is an $80 billion a year market. So this is a big deal for BioLargo, and we're just about to launch this product into the commercial validation stage in the field. Our engineering group is working with really some of the biggest names in the industry, including the United States Air Force, defense contracts. And again, as we just said, we just landed a number of contracts that are really significant, about $1.2 million. You know, and we're practical about that. You know, you say, is $1.2 million a lot? It's not that it's $1.2 million is a lot. It's that $1.2 million in contracts came in a week. Okay? It's very important you get that. We think the opportunities for this group and for our company leveraging this talent is just astronomically significant. And the thing that's unique is not just that we're providing engineering services. It's engineering services with a toolkit that can match the rivals of the best competition in the market, and an entrepreneurial project orientation to really create leverage that creates recurring revenue, long-lasting revenue, and replication. That's what's unusual, right? And we have not built a company to become an engineering services company, although that talent is incredibly valuable, and it's been very valuable for BioLargo, of course. The AOS technology is our advanced oxidation system. This system has been in development for 6 years. Again, 80+ grants, more coming. Very, very specialized technology in the removal of what the industry would call micropollutants. Now, this is a big deal. The reason micropollutants is interesting is in Europe, micropollutants is now mandated for removal. So we're actually in discussions. We've had a number of interactions in Europe with major, well-established technology leaders in the water industry. And what we'd like to do is form a partnership to see this technology find its way into Europe now. And in the U.S. market, it has a significant role in disinfection and micropollutants over time. Micropollutants are currently regulated, but the enforcement and expanded focus on micropollutants is catching up with Europe. So Europe's a little bit ahead from a regulatory perspective on making sure things like benzene, things like estrogen, pharmaceutical byproducts in drinking water. What happens is these molecules are so difficult to destroy or to break down, right, to render safe through a breakdown, an oxidation process. They're so difficult to break down that they kind of get recycled. They just recycle and recycle and recycle, right? And as a result, they accumulate. And bioaccumulation for micropollutants is not good, as you might imagine. So anyway, that's why it's getting a focus, and this is a very special technology. Scientifically, there's a number of academic papers. There's more coming. It's really an astonishing level of performance, low cost, high output. Great piece of technology. It's going to find its way all over the world. There it is going into the field. This is our operation in Quebec. We will be presenting more and more data over time from the Quebec operation. A little bit hit by COVID, some delays, but it is on track now and in good space. The Odor Company, right? Cupridyne Clean is this really brilliant product. Great science, incredible technology. Breaks down odors like perfectly. I mean, it's incredible. It works so well. It started in the consumer products. We pivoted based on our talents to exploit this in the commercial markets for industrial odor like waste handling and wastewater treatment. All sorts of really interesting industrial applications. This is also the platform that led to our joint venture in South Korea. Partnerships are expanding here, okay? And that's really good because we need to build more sales infrastructure, of course. It's a small staff. We've worked with national contracts. We've had some adoption. We need more. The good news is the product will last the test of time. It is the #1 performer in the market. We've bundled it with a full complement of services, including construction, service, maintenance. It's a winner. It's a slugfest. I would say it's extraordinarily hard work, but it's a winner. And through partnerships, we will find expanded adoption and significance in our financial forecast, which we're very excited about. There's a number of ways it goes to market. These are just examples. So you get a visual. And again, we're the developer, marketeer, installer, builder just an amazing thing that we've done to become vertically integrated to be able to serve a customer start to finish. There is some really interesting opportunities in the cannabis and hemp. They produce terpenes. We've technically validated that our chemistry will oxidize terpenes. That means break them down so that they don't have that odorous compound that emits from a large grow operation out the vents. So this is being sold through white labeling and through partnerships. Some good traction. National shows are always underway. I want to say we've done something like 40 installations, and we think it will continue to expand as it finds its way. There's the example. This is our partner's operation in South Korea. They're serious industrial players. They've got massive infrastructure. They're a 20-plus-year-old company, widely considered one of the leaders in wastewater treatment in Korea. They have operations in Vietnam as well as China, and they are currently producing in Daegu, which is, as I said before, one of the water hubs of the world. Clear Medical, we've talked briefly about it. Don't want to spend a lot of time. There's antimicrobial products. The BioCleanse is a product for orthopedic surgery. It's being launched as we speak. It's a great product for surgical applications and for infection control, and a significant opportunity. And Clear really needs to advance its capital base to really exploit this fully, but it is making incremental opportunities. And again, we've positioned that for a perfect spin out into its own company for sale or IPO. And we believe it deserves that, and it will likely happen in the future, and we're working diligently to assist Clear in focusing on that. The skin disc is a tissue regenerative therapy technology. It's astonishing. There's been a number of cases performed in which all of the outcomes are limb salvage. In any event, it's a whole portfolio. Cleara also represents a portfolio of technology and product opportunities that really have a significant, including dental. So there's a big market ahead for Cleara. In summary, there's their timeline, right? Basically, it's a budget, needs capital, there's a product rollout. The hardest work is done. Its first 510K clearance under FDA is achieved. COVID hit it hard. It's now positioned to launch these products, and it has. It is launching, so it's in process. In summary, right, real quick, BioLargo is an environmental company focused on helping clients solve some of the toughest problems in the environment: clean air, clean water, and advanced and a cleaner earth. And then we also have in our portfolio a wound care company that's built to spin off. So I'm going to stop for a minute. I'm going to now turn to Q&A, and let's see what we've got. One of the first questions, and please put your questions in. Happy to do that. And the question is about competitive landscape, right? What is the competitive landscape? It's a fascinating question. You know, when you talk about, I always say, when you talk about clean air, clean water, cleaner earth, that's a big space. And what you'll find is there's a competitor at every level, actually, right? Now, the clean air, there's a number of competing technologies and companies. Clean water, same thing. Water's a massive $1 trillion market. What's rare to find is a company like BioLargo that focuses first on the innovation and is willing to do the hardest work. You know, being an innovator is a tricky business. It takes a patience and time, a lot of capital. So we've done that. We're now at the point where all of that innovation is turning into products, and combined with the talent allows us to go into the marketplace with very special tools to compete, special tools, and the knowledge of how to be successful in designing and implementing full-service solutions for delivering clean water. That unique characteristic is very special, especially as a smaller company. So just think about our competitive edge. If you think about some of the largest water companies in the world who have that talent, they have the knowledge, they're typically unwilling, right, to work on the smaller accounts, the mid-size accounts, the custom integration accounts, and we are. And so just by nature of our emerging franchise, our willingness to take on clients and solve some of these tough problems really makes us stand out among the crowd, because we have that unique custom feature. We also have these tools that are extraordinary. So that's a really good angle for us, and the market really does adopt it, especially when you combine it with this extraordinary talent from our environmental engineering group Just remind everybody that group's got well over 35 plus years in the field at the highest level, working on notorious environmental challenges like anthrax with the United States Post Office, and built and managed one of the largest dioxin remediation operations in the world. Helped pump out New Orleans post-Katrina. Extraordinary talent, right? And so when we come into a marketplace opportunity, presenting this toolkit combined with that knowledge and skill, we are a force to be reckoned with. And so that's a really great competitive edge. So there we go. Let me see if we have any more questions. I think we're just about out of time. I think in closing, let me see, yeah. There's a question here on which one of these platforms is going to move the needle first. That's the question. That's a good question. So it's fascinating. I'm often asked that question. Which of these is going to hit first? We believe they're all going to actually go. They're all going to go big. Some are more difficult. They have barriers to entry or competitive barriers that make it difficult. But the innovation stands alone. They are significant technically, and they will find a home. And what we've been good at really achieving is finding the spots where they shine the brightest. And as a result of that, right, we're now in a position where partners are coming to us. And Garrett Cowan's a good example. Our relationship in South Korea is another good example. Some of these retail initiatives that are emerging for our odor and VOC products, very good example. The partnerships that have been established are now nurturing into the cannabis and hemp industry under white label, great example. Those examples are expanding. So what we can say to our investor base is they're all happening. They're happening right in front of us, and they're expanding. And new opportunities are being presented to us on a regular basis. In fact, one of the unique characteristics about the company is that because of that skill, that unique skill of taking an idea, from idea to design, to patent, to prototype, to scale up, to commercial validation, and then first commercial adoption, that's really where we've shined the brightest. That skill is a very attractive target for innovators and for other companies to bring their toolkits to us. And that is significant and expanding for BioLargo. So in summary, I remind everyone, if you look back about every 6 months, the landscape of BioLargo is continually evolving, and it is expanding with tentacles in multiple markets, and revenue is projected to expand dramatically over the next 12 to 18 months. And so this is about the most exciting time in the history of the company. Our balance sheet has had significant improvement. We've got good financing in place. And, of course, we'd love to break open this revenue opportunity so that the market sees them clearly, which we do believe will happen, and then ultimately look to uplist and see this company get off the OTC into a national market. So all of those are part of our goal. We talk about them openly. And in the meantime, we're going to focus on serving customers and building that base. So that's it for now. I think we're going to wrap up. And I want to thank everyone for your time. And be sure and reach out to the company. Remember, the symbol is BLGO, and we love engaging with our stockholders. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the BioLargo presentation. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect.